So I just happened to see a segment on Eyewitness News that said,
Political arena tonight, more fallout from the governing Free National Movement Party, as Central and South Abaco MP James Albury is the latest Free National Movement incumbent who will not be running in the next general elections.
fallout? Who did Albury fall out with? And why does it say on screen that he resigned from the FNM when he never even left the party? Here is how the very same story ran on a different station.
I'm enthusiastic about the future, and we have several, more than several, I think, very enthusiastic candidates to take my place. I would have met with the Prime Minister early this year to sit down and speak with him, to inform him that I was not seeking a nomination to run again in this seat. And I explained my reasons to him, and he was very accepting and accommodating of that. So there was no pressure from the party whatsoever.
Do you see the stark difference in coverage? The Eyewitness News coverage says James Albury to quit the FNM after finishing term, which is fake news, whereas the R News coverage plainly says that James Albury is not seeking re-election. So why is Eyewitness News misleading Bahamians into thinking that there's some fallout between Albury and the FNM? Well, the most simple answer is that they have an agenda, but I'll get into that later. Right now, let me insert this clip of Clint Watson screaming like a little gal. But Clint, you can't be out here carrying on like that on this road, boy. You giving Clint a bad name. Which brings us to the biggest culprit on Eyewitness, Clint Watson. Yeah, that's right. The sassy sensationalist himself is the worst. And I don't know whether or not he's upset because Minnis didn't make him press secretary, or because Brave Davis supposedly promised to make him general manager at ZNS if the PLP wins the next election. But Clint Watson and the Eyewitness team repeatedly misleads and spins with an agenda. But what else can be expected from a journalist that says,
forget about the fact?
No, Clint, facts actually do matter. Facts are stubborn things. People are entitled to their own opinions, but not to their own facts. One more time for the fans, Clint. But maybe if the slogan of the station wasn't always a headline ahead, you could concentrate on getting the headlines right. Like the time Clint accused Holowesco of having a conflict of interest in the BPL deal and had to apologize live on air.
This response follows last night's Beyond the Headlines, where I stated that Holowescos were principals of New Fortress Energy Group. Now that was incorrect, and we apologize to BPL for that and to the Holowescos.
Then there's this Tribune article entitled Why Eyewitness News Must Be Held Accountable. After erroneously accusing the BPL board and Stephen Holowesco, the deputy chairman of the company's board, of a conflict of interest on the news program Beyond the Headlines, Clint Watson of Eyewitness News went on TV the following evening to apologize to BPL and to Mr. Holowesco. Did Mr. Watson speak to Mr. Holowesco before his initial report? If he failed to do so, this is the kind of basic mistake even a rookie reporter should not make. Just like in the case with Albury, there was no journalistic ethics. Did Clint even research at all? The article then goes on to state, Mr. Watson was easily duped and made to look a fool in his reporting. How often has he been fooled by those perhaps suspecting an easy and gullible mark in Mr. Watson, who has repeatedly demonstrated limited journalistic capacity in his reporting? Mr. Watson is a sensationalist on a station, the newscast of which is reliably amateurish and puerile, with some contributors having clear agendas. Do it for the gram, Clint. Wait, Clint, what octave was that? Those them notes I thought only Mariah and Whitney could hit. And all of this can't just be in the hopes of being named general manager at ZNS. What you going back to ZNS to do? The same foolishness and shenanigans as before? That lack of professionalism is exactly why you were not named press secretary in the first place. That's why whenever there is some demagogue spewing nonsense, you only see one station's microphone in front of them. Not ZNS, not Our News, not even June's. Only Eyewitness. That's why Clint feels comfortable saying foolishness like,
oh, let me say, y'all let me know when y'all get your $100,000. As if to say, oh, it's just a big old bogus fallacy, good for y'all. It's a bunch of lies. And I hate that because you're trivializing and mocking something that Bahamians believe that they are being robbed of. Okay, maybe you won't get $100,000. Fine.
no, Clint, it's not fine. It's not okay. That is unethical. Bahamians believed that they were being robbed because you reported it. You're the only station that would knowingly give a platform to those promising Bahamians money in desperate times, knowing that it's not true. But,
Forget about the fact,
as they say in show business,
it ain't over till the fat lady sings.